first off, how are you guys feeling heading into the national meet?
Pretty good, confident.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty confident. We've had some good times this year. Drop a good time this upcoming meet.
What do you guys who were part of the team last year take away from, I guess, being in that second cycle, the second grouping, and then to see the 4x4 go on to win the national championship, even though it wasn't in the top 4 race? Just, I guess, the challenges of trying to not only beat the competitors but beat the time, and how you go about that.
I'm the only second year person.
I was gonna say.
I'm excited to see what we do. I think we have a pretty good group of 4 deep men. So although we're the reigning national champions, I think we can do it again. So we just got to go out there this weekend and prove everyone what we are capable of doing.
So have you guys had a good spring, do you feel, or just average? Well, how would you rate your season thus far?
It's been all right. We haven't been doing what we expected to do, but it's going along smoothly. Like, indoor is supposed to get you ready for outdoor, and I feel like we did pretty well.
What has it been any extra challenging this year? Not having any home meets, and you guys are constantly on the road. I mean, what's that been like?
You just gotta go out there and run. Like, no matter what.
Yeah.
It don't matter where you're at. If we had meets here, we had to do the same thing that we've been doing on the road. So it's just about just going out there and run.
And then here, finishing up the indoor season, how do you feel like this is kind of do you look at the indoor kind of as a precursor to outdoor, or how do you feel like you guys are, preparation-wise, I guess?
Personally, I usually look at indoor and see it kind of determines my outdoor, but I'm trying not to let that happen this year just because indoor and outdoor are 2 completely different races. In the indoor, you have to go out blazing that first 200 and hope to finish strong. Outdoor, it's a little bit different, so although we're running good right now, I think we'll be better outdoor. So
I assume y'all have been running on the, oval in the outdoor stadium. And is that challenging to, deal with the elements, knowing obviously normally you wouldn't have to do that on that type of track, or is it just sort of, it is pretty good practice for the real thing?
It is pretty good practice. We're one of the only teams within the national championship right now without an indoor track, without practicing on one at least. So I think we've been doing pretty well, especially with the most recent time we ran in New Mexico. And I don't think it's been a problem at all, honestly.
And speaking to that, how do you feel like that, any advantage you could get from, that weekend there, kind of being on site, being more familiar with the venue and the conditions and all that?
I think that was when we ran most comfortable. It was when we ran one of our most competitive races so far. I think everybody was pretty healthy during that race, and it's looking about the same this week. So it's looking pretty good coming into this next week.
Eric, has your freshman season kind of met your expectations, or is there anything different, or is anything surprises maybe running at the collegiate level so far?
This year being my first year running indoors, it wasn't like meeting my expectations, but I'm proud of the progress I made throughout the whole season. Especially now running on the indoor track, getting used to it. And the season has went along well, and I'm be proud of what I did.
What does it mean to you being kind of local kid from Brenham and able to run the maroon and white?
So I tell everybody on the team I'm from Brenham every day. I'm proud of where I'm from, and it is a good thing just being close by.
What was the process like for you, or just the journey to compete for a spot on the 4x4 and to see yourself work into that, and obviously have success and have a chance to run at nationals?
I just try to run for respect. When I go out on the track, I just try to earn everybody's respect. Put in the hard work, trust my coaches, trust my trainer. That's all I do.
So first off, how has this season gone for you girls? And are you kind of on track to where you thought you'd be at this point in the indoor, or what's it been like?
It's been a little challenging, but I do think that we are capable of going faster. And with the competition that we have this season, it's definitely been challenging us on and off the track, and so I think we're pretty good.
What do you kind of expect out of this national meet?
Honestly, everybody, of course, expects to win, but just go out there, compete, give it your all, compete as hard as you can, and just hopefully and pray come out with the win.
What's the process been like, just getting acclimated with one another and kind of forming, not just for good individual runners, but forming that good team competitive level?
Well, me and Tierra this is actually our 5th year, so we're pretty acclimated with each other since we came in since we're freshmen. And adding May into the squad, she's a transfer, so she just fits perfectly into our squad. And then Kennedy has really worked hard. She's a sophomore, and she's really worked her way up in order to be on this 4x4. So we work pretty well together. I mean, we hang out outside of the track as well. So it's just nice to see that, not even that we hang out off the track and on the track as well.
What about the same thing for the guys? What about no indoor track? How's that been practice on? How's that been for you ladies?
It hasn't been that bad per se because we always do a lot of turf runs, and so we preserve our bodies a lot. And so whenever we do get a track workout, our bodies do adjust. But I think it's been a pretty good mix between preserving our bodies, getting used to different tracks because they do have different materials and everything. But I think everything's been playing out pretty well for us.
Is the how do you view the season? Is the indoor season kind of like a precursor to the outdoor, or I guess in your training along the year, how do you feel like the indoor and outdoor kind of?
They're definitely different for sure. Indoor, of course, is only 200 meters banked and 300 meters flat track. But once you go outdoor, then it is an adjustment for sure. But I personally don't really like indoor, so I won't speak too much about it. Definitely an outdoor girl, so I'll take outdoor track any day.
Kenny, I know earlier in the year you had the race where you got the number 2 time in the nation. I think the number 1 time in the nation was right there with you. Just what do you take away from kind of that experience and trying to at the nationals individually compete and get you over the hump this time?
Well, this time it was really a good indicator for me, just so that I knew that I was gonna get better this season and continue to get better, and just to run fast early on. It's really important indoor because they only take the top 16 times. So just to be in that group, in the top, I just wanted to stay there and continue to get better. But it was just a good mark for me to see that I was, the training was working and that I was able to just really do what I could and execute my race well.
Do you feel like you're in a good spot to perhaps improve on that time, and obviously depending on what other people do, maybe see if you can inch up there?
Yeah, for sure, because I did get the last qualifying spot, so just to go in there knowing that if I finish better than how I started, I will run better than the time that I came in with, and improvement's always what I'm looking for. So I'm just really excited to be able to run my first individual race at the national meet.
As a relay team, are you guys happy with the times you've gotten, or how do you feel like you guys are there?
I'm happy with our time right now because I know we can run faster, and we've been running fast for a couple meets now. And us going into nationals, I'm very confident that we're gonna drop time by a lot. So I'm just really confident in us, and I know that we all work hard and work together, so we're gonna run fast together in the relay.